Well, g'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, this time, a customer has bought this in. It's a Yamaha AV receiver. It's an RX-V661. Now, pretty nice looking piece of gear. Now, he's bought the remote in with it, which is great for doing these things. We also have a book. Now, I think this is the owner's manual, which with these things can be pretty handy because, yeah, learning how to drive them when they're not yours. So we don't have any schematics or anything like that, but at least we've got the manual on operation. Okay, fault. He said, you plug it in, nothing happens. It's dead. Let's have a look around the back. Okay, now we'll just slip our AM antenna off for the moment. Now, this is a standard arrangement for something like this. I think this is a 5.1 or a 7.1. We've got zone B. We've got front, center, surround, and surround back, and obviously sub from here, I think. Yeah, I'm not real sure on the connections. There doesn't seem to be any sub output, but anyway, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Lots of inputs, lots of AV inputs up here, SVHS or S video connectors, standard RCAs. We've got component A and B, pre-out, center in woofer, there you go. So I don't know, actually that's an output. Yeah, okay, so there's your sub. All sorts of multi-channel input, yeah, left and right. Yeah, I'll have to go through the book anyway. Digital, standard audio, RCAs, be all inputs there of your VCR, DVR, TV, DVD, tape, CD, phono. Yeah, so a standard arrangement there. Now, there is no on-off switch on this, no main switch, hence the thing is in standby most of the time. And our switch on the front is a momentary switch. Now, the unit's not doing anything. What's the first thing we think of? Yes, the 5 volt, probably the 5 volt standby voltage is not there. Otherwise, this may light up, may do something. So let's plug this in. I won't use the dim bulb at the moment. Let's plug it in. See, is there any life or anything before we take the top off, just to see what's going on. Okay, so I'm plugging him in to live power now, and there you go, dead to the world. So my guess would be standby power, but anyway, let's have a look see. Let's get him apart. Now, I'm not familiar with these, with this particular Yamaha. I've done these units before many times, and most of the time they're very susceptible to dry joints in the amplifier section. But this one is certainly different. This isn't an amp problem. This is a power problem. there was no sound or anything when I plugged it in. There was no click, no relay click or anything like that. So maybe an open circuit standby transformer, maybe a fuse. We don't know. We'll know soon. And of course, once you've got one of these in your system at home, a little bit hard to just chuck it away and replace it with something else, because you've set all your wiring, everything up to match this unit. So yeah, it just makes sense that the customer would want this one repaired. And hopefully we'll be able to do that for him. Okay, lid comes off. There we go. Right, now just evaluating everything in here. And of course, guess where our power supply is? It's way down in there. Yeah. Now, there's a little power supply in there, and I'm going to take you guys for a little ride. And if we look, okay, I'll get my pointer. If we look down in there, that fella there, that's a little standby transformer. We also have a fuse down in here. There's two fuses, actually. But one big suspect is that little transformer. He supplies the voltage for the standby to enable the power switch to turn the CPU on, well, to tell the CPU to turn the main power and amplifier on. That's the simple way. I don't want to get too complicated with this. I try and keep things so you guys can, well, the new fellas can understand. Now, first things, we've got to lift this board out of the road. Now, to do this, we need to remove, I'm just looking, we need to remove some screws from the back, okay, that holds the row of RCA in place. And this will be video input board. So you get screws in him to keep him tight. Okay. Now, what can we do here? Nothing yet. We've got this connector board that goes from this board here to the bottom board. So we will remove him. It looks like there's going to be a couple of boards here that we've got to take out. There's that one off and that one off. Okay, just a little connector board from one to the other. Right, now, nope. No. Just loosen off a couple here. Okay, we'll remove our ribbon cable from this fella. We've got to a little peg holding him at the back here. So just gently lift him up and out. And I might have to take that fella out from the top. Worst part about doing these is, well, you can't work on it when it's all together, and of course you can't check it after you think you've repaired it until you put it all together again. So fold him over there for the time being. Oh dear. I'm just looking at how we get at this power board down in there. Okay. Because I thought, well, we might get underneath this board, but that board actually goes right through. Probably with this thing is take the screws out of the back panel. This is going to be a little bit of a trick. Okay. Let's see. We'll get in here and see, just undo a couple and see, does that loosen him off? Not a lot. This one. This one. Might be a bit more difficult than what I first thought to get at. Okay, that's loose. That's loose. But nothing is going anywhere. Okay, let's tip him up. Have a look underneath. There is nothing underneath that we can get to with this fella. I wonder, will the board move forward? I'll just undo a couple more screws here on a plug. This fella is certainly in there. A screw out of there and one out of this side. Let's see. If you can hear a noise in the background, it's my diesel heater going here in the workshop. Certainly makes a difference. Now, yeah, okay. We may be able to lift this board up, the power board. Yes, I think we can. If we can just get a couple of these fellas out of the road. Snip this one. Get these out of the road. Now this is the standby switch plug. Now, will he come out? And we might be able to slip this fella out. Undo our power cord at the front, our transformer wires, which would be the primary, and oh gee, we're getting there. And there we are. We've got him out. Now there's a wire attached to him here that doesn't unplug. He goes across to here. So I think we'll unplug him off there, undo a cable tie there, and that way we can bring the board out. There we go. There he is. Primary of the transformer, the AC, our switch, and in actual fact, the fella here is our main power wires, which, yeah, quite easy. Okay. Now, let's move the amp out of the road a little bit, and we'll have a closer look at our power supply. There we go. So first of all, I'm going to go brush him down, and yeah, then we'll do some checks and see what's going on. But I very highly suspect that little transformer, which is also operates the relay, and all this operates from our front switch that turns him on and off. Okay, very few components underneath. There's, in fact, there's hardly anything underneath this fella. All right, I'll go and clean him. We'll be back. Okay, now the first port of call, let's check the fuses. The fuse is fine. And that fuse is fine. Okay. Now, first of all, I'll go straight to that transformer and check his primary. Now, the primary is on this side. Does this go through any sort of fuse? Sometimes they've got small circuit fuses, but not in this case. Okay, so that's his primary across there. And if we put this on here, we've got 3.4K. Now, that's probably okay. Let's check the secondary, and the secondary is 29 ohms. Right, guys, well, I can't find anything wrong with the transformer, which is, you know, a little bit unusual. That was certainly my place to go to. Now, there's a little bridge rectifier up here that the transformer somehow runs off the AC side of it. I don't have a circuit. Maybe I should round up a circuit for this one. But there's a little transistor here on the plus and minus of that little bridge, which is actually on the AC input. Now, I'm probably going to need a circuit for this, as I said, but you measure across positive to negative, and we've got 72. I couldn't see the screen there. We've got 4 ohm, and from the center to the emitter is 0.07. In that mode, doesn't really matter what mode we put it in. We've got 4 ohms there, and to the center, which is the collector, we've got 85 ohms, and 85 ohms there. And it seems to be base emitter is short circuit. Let's put it on ohms and try that. As I said, 4.3 ohms. That doesn't seem right across the positive, negative of a bridge, which is 83 ohms. I think that transistor is Cactus, which is that little fella in there. Now, I don't know what his job is. I'm going to try and round up a circuit for this. So now it's an RX-V661. Let's go and see what I can find, just of the power supply, and see if we can make some sense of what's going on. Right, guys, well, it's the next morning, so I'm continuing with this little fella, the power supply. Now, it's 4 degrees in the workshop this morning, but I've got my diesel heater just fired up now, so yeah, it won't take long to warm the place up. Okay, now what I've found here is we've taken out the MOSFET. Now, yesterday, I think you saw me check between the gate and the drain, or was it the source? No, it was the gate and the source. Okay, on this fella here. Now, I had a very, very low reading on the meter, and I thought, well, I'll take the MOSFET out and we'll check him. So I've got my little checker here. It's only one of these little cheapy fellas. So we'll go onto the gate. We'll go on to the source and the drain in the center. If I can get my cold fingers on this morning. Okay. Now this is it's a MOSFET 2SK. Oh, what is it? It's a 2SK 3850. Apparently this is a bit of a problem with these Yamaha amps. Let's have a look. And that doesn't seem real good, does it? For a MOSFET. So between 2 and 3, which is the gate and the source, we've got 3.76 ohms. It thinks it's a resistor. So I've been scouting around looking for equivalents, and the equivalent closest one I've got here is, shouldn't be handling these either, not with my hands, a 2SK 1118. Okay, that's the MOSFET I'm using. So once again, I'll go to the gate, the source, drain, and let's check this fella out and see what he does. And that's a good MOSFET. Okay, now the specs are very, very similar to the 3860, 3850 rather. So I think we'll put this one in. We'll use him. So he's a dud for sure. So he certainly needs replacing. It wouldn't have been switching anything. So on the board, our gate is on this side. Our heatsink side, or the larger flat side, goes to the back on this particular board. Put him in there. We'll solder him in, and then that problem will be fixed. Then I want to show you something else. Okay, so let's solder him in. And now that we've got him soldered in, I will show you where he is in the circuit. Now, this is a strange sort of circuit. It's a weird thing. Not going to go into theory of how it works. I don't know myself how the damn thing works, but it's that fella there. Okay, so he comes off the bridge. Power goes through the standby transformer primary to the bridge. Now, to ground this side of the transformer, which is actually a neutral, so live neutral, to ground this side. It's actually rectified through the bridge, goes up here to the drain, and the gate is controlled from this circuitry over here, which is a very simple 4013 or something like that. Yeah, it's a 4013 flip-flop by the look of that. And yeah, and then it turns the FET on, down to ground, and turns whatever happens in here. I'm not real sure of how this all works, but this is kicked into gear, the flip-flop, by the on-off switch, and a particular capacitor comes down here, and which is this one. Okay, so this is C. I can't read that. Let's have a look at the circuit. It's this one here. Now, I still can't read it. Anyway, 2508. Yeah. Anyway, that's the capacitor. It's yeah, not. I should have used my PDF. This print isn't real good. So this capacitor here has been known to cause problems on lots of these Yamaha amps. So I thought, okay, I'll take this out, just check, and just see what's going on. So I pulled it out. It's a 22 nanofarad 223 poly. You wouldn't think that was going to give any problems. So, okay, I'll put it on my tester, and once again, I'll just use this little tester. At the moment, I have tried another meter as well. Now, there we go. Let's see what he measures. 740 picofarad. Okay. Now, that's definitely faulty. In fact, I thought, my little tester is playing up. I went and got a new one, 223. Put him on here. Reset him. 22 nanofarad. And that's pretty close, 22.06. So there you go. There is a trap with these Yamaha amplifier power supplies. A big trap with these. Now, if it's related to the FET shorting, I've got no idea. That could have been a power surge, but certainly that capacitor needs changing. I will probably also check the other polys. There's one there, one over here, and this big fella here. So I'll go through, check those, just to make sure, replace this, and then this thing's ready to, well, I can't find anything else wrong, ready to put back in the machine. So I'll come back to you then. Okay, I've checked the other capacitors. Everything is all okay. So I can't find anything else wrong. I have checked a couple of transistors down here. I've checked the optos. I can't check the chip, of course, but very, very unlikely there's anything wrong there. So now it's time to put this thing back in there. If we can, I've managed to get a few wires sort of up out of the way while we do this, compared to what it was when we were trying to get the damn thing out. Okay, here goes. If we can lift this fella a little bit. Look at that. That's how it's done. Just didn't move enough things out of the road in the first place was the problem. Right, now our socket is coming through the back. We've got screw holes lined up down here, those two, and the back socket is all out, and it's fitting in. Yeah, fitting in properly. Well, there you go. See, as easy as that. Okay. Well, and unfortunately with this thing, you've got to get it back together to see if it's going to work, which is, yeah, a nuisance with these. But that's how it is. Right. Now, we've got a wire here, which goes, it's actually from your transformer. I'm not looking into where it goes. All I know is it plugs in there. And excuse my arm in the road there, but I'll show you when I'm finished here. The mains transformer is the rear plug, like so. Now there's a little plug down in there. It runs right up here to a board there. Now after I'm finished this, I'm going to blow the whole amp out with compressed air. It's fairly a fair build up of fluff and dirt and everything, which, yeah, just a bit nicer, might run a little bit cooler. Right. Okay. I will put a couple of screws in here to hold all this together. We probably didn't have to loosen the back, although it was good to lift it up a little bit, but yeah, probably not really necessary. And that's the socket that was on the back of the power board, in case, but you guys know that, you're following along. This may help a few of you. What I just did will probably help quite a few people if, I say if, this works. So we'll get all these screws back in, because we really didn't have to remove so much of the back. When you guys are doing it, be careful of these edges. They're like razor blades. They're really, really sharp. Okay, let's put this fella down. He's held in with a few black screws along the back. You guys can skip forward past this if you want. This is just a sort of a single edit video in real time. Just to give you an idea of what to do. It's a good thing I'm not doing that Breville radio in real time. I'd never get the damn thing finished. Okay. Now, we plug our ribbon cable back in. He's in. Got our little mount here. Goes under there and clips in. We might do a few more of these guys. I've got a few here in the workshop that are not going, and various things, output transistors or FETs or whatever's wrong with them. So yeah, if you want to see more of those, just let me know. Now, we've got this fella, our little joiner, that pushes on there and there, and there's a screw in here. He does have a screw down below. Yep. In actual fact, the screws on that little board have got a flat head on them. A little bit of a bigger flat head to hold the circuit board. Guys, this is it. That's it. All the rest of the screws belong to the back and the sides and everything else. We've got our transformer plugged in. We've plugged in that cable over there. That's it. Okay, it's time. Now, I am going to use the dim bulb on this just in case I've done... Oh, no, I won't. Let's just... let's plug it in and see what happens. Because we weren't really... We're dealing with the power supply, but... yeah, I'll just get you in a better position there. Now, if I turn the light off there at the back, it will give you a little bit less light on the situation. Okay, we're plugging in now. Okay, is this going to work? Yes. And he goes off. Okay, we have another problem. Which is a protection circuit cutting in. Protection circuit coming on, cutting off. At least we've got something happening. We've got power and then cuts off. Okay. A little bit more investigation with the circuit. I'll read through the manual and see what's going on. Okay, well, just checking what I've done here to see was there anything, because it's not making sense. And, well, how about if I put this up a little bit up here? And, yeah, Tico Baz, yeah, he wasn't taking all the care in the world, and we've missed the power supply down to here to the amplifier board. And of course, the amp is shutting down because the main amp doesn't have power. It knows that. It's sensing power along here. So this connects onto our little circuit board way, now I am unplugged, yes, way down in on the power supply board that we've just had out. There we go. And we'll put a little bit of a cable tie just around that fella to hold him. So, yeah, maybe I was just getting a little bit too anxious there. Okay, that's probably fixed it. And there's the cable there. That's our main, sorry, there's the cable there. That's our main supply to the amp. Let's plug him in again and see what happens. So in we go. Okay, turn him on. And there we go. The speaker relay just cut in. Everything appears to be normal. Well, normal enough. You never know with these things. They're certainly a complicated piece of gear for an amplifier. But yeah, there's our volume control. So we'll take him down We certainly don't want him up. Right, let's hook a couple of speakers and some sort of program into it and see if the thing actually works. I'm pretty happy with that. Righto guys, I've hooked that up. We have a radio program coming line into the CD input. 2 speakers up above here connected up. Turn him on. And where CD and speakers. Okay, I'm on an AM station there. I should be able to hear. Oh, we can. There we go. Our CD input. Okay. And we that's our coming in there. Tuner. Let's put our AM loop antenna back on and see if we can get anything happening. Okay. And we got Radio Network. Today's call crust. Have your say now. Call 13. And of course, we've got all sorts of interference and everything in the workshop. But anyway, guys, it's working. Let's clean him up, put the top on him, and call him done. And we've been out the back, cleaned him up, blew him out with the compressor, and it's come up very nicely, very nice and shiny, and yeah, it looks good inside. I always like doing this when I give it back to the customer. It's just a nice way of doing things. You don't have to clean the dust out of them, but yeah, I like doing that. Okay. Everything is in order. Everything is screwed down and in place. I've put a couple of cable ties back to hold the cables there. So it's time for the lid. Putting back together. Well, there she is, guys. Working like a dream. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up if you did. And please remember, if you want to follow me, subscribe and hit the bell so that you'll be notified when my next video comes out. So just a workshop repair I thought I would share with you with this one. And I'm sure some of us would have learnt a little bit from this. They're a little bit of a trick, those Yamahas, but after a while you sort of get used to the way they are. Describing the circuitry, nah, don't ask me to. It goes around the circle. Okay, until next time, bye for now.